Hey guys, Finn here. That is of course FYWN, and Manchester United, should they have beat Bournemouth? Well, that's obviously a topic I'm going to be talking about today. But before I get too far into this, I'm not going to be too upset about it because I'm South African and that means my team has just won the World Cup today on the day of recording. I am so happy about that. I mean, that is absolutely amazing. And England, I'm sorry, once again, it is not coming home for you guys. Of course, it's very funny, not football related, but someone posted, I saw on social media, about how they still blame Kane and Sterling for it, which I found quite amusing. That's actually really, really good. I'll leave it on screen there. Obviously, you guys saw it while I was talking about it. But guys, Manchester United, of course, leave it to Manchester United to do well against teams like Liverpool. They looked so dominant against them. Beat Chelsea, have 3 away wins in a row after having like X amount without like 11 games without an away win. And then we go and we lose to Bournemouth, which of course was not impressive. And before I get too far into this, guys, I do want to say this channel is growing so nicely, and I want to ask everyone who's watching this just to share it with one person they know, one friend who watches football, one whatever, even if it's your dog, just so that this channel can grow, because sharing this video with one person can help me way more than you guys believe. But yeah, Manchester United, that was very weird from you guys. I wasn't too confident coming into this game because I know Manchester United, you know, I know you guys. You guys do well against big teams sometimes, and then you play a small team the next week and then it's not so impressive. Which, I mean, I have to say well done to Cook and well done to Aka for being incredible centre-backs for Bournemouth. You guys did super well. Ashley Young.
Stop it. Get some help.
Your crosses were so heavy, man. I mean, you had moments where you did look okay, but at the end of the day, the only person or the only thing in the world that's crosses are heavier than yours is the one Jesus had to carry.
Okay.
That's saying something. And at the end of the day, I have to talk about Wan-Bissaka because I find that I can be very biased towards Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Of course, I always put him in my fantasy team, which if you don't know, I talk about my fantasy team every week in Premier League predictions. You guys can check that on my channel. But I always seem to be biased towards Wan-Bissaka. In the first 15 minutes, he was very, very good in terms of being defensive. Even towards the end of the game, he had some moments. I have to say the goal was his fault, though. I can't defend him like a mother on a playground where it's like, your child punched my child, while my child would have punched your child if his face didn't look like that. You know, something along the lines of that. Wan-Bissaka, you're on the wrong side of King when he did score. That has to be said. If he was on the other side of King, if he was on the goal side of King, then that probably wouldn't have gone in. But yeah, overall, way too much time given to him, and that's why they ended up scoring. And of course, it is a bit of salt on the wound, the fact that it's an ex-Manchester United player, but at the end of the day, well done to him. It was actually a very beautiful goal, no matter how much time was given to him. And I have to say, Bournemouth just overall did play very well. I can't be too upset with just Manchester United because Bournemouth also played well. They've been doing well this season. Even though, look, they have gone, this would have been 4 games without a goal if they didn't score. But at the end of the day, defensive-wise, they are looking so strong. And talking about our attack now, I have to say, there was some really beautiful chances created purely because Martial was back. At the end of the day, he was almost non-existent part from that because, I mean, he didn't really create chances. He had one shot, which was just like a slow ball to the goalkeeper. Rashford had a beautiful run or two. Didn't do too much past that. Andreas Pereira, I loved seeing him in that number 10 position. I think he's doing well in that in comparison to when he's in the wing. I'd love to see him do more in that, and maybe he could potentially break into the first team as almost a definite starter, the same way McTominay did last season, if he kind of continues and builds up on that role. Daniel James was the only player in that Manchester United team in the forwards that looked like a proper Manchester United attacker, which is odd because he's been there for the least amount of time and he's probably the one people expect least to be like the main like attacker. But wow, that man can win fouls like nothing else. I mean, if we had 11 Daniel Jameses on this team, would that be it? Daniel James, Daniel Denjai, I don't know, what would you call a plural of Daniel James? It's going to be my question of the day, guys. Everyone put down what your plural of a Daniel James would be in the comment section below. Funniest comment will be showed in my next video. I will put your name and that comment over there. Put your plural of Daniel James there. But yeah, that man, I mean, we would win by 3-0 if we had 11 Daniel James on the team. Purely because everyone else on the opposition's team would just get a red card and we would win because they'd have to forfeit. Yeah, but I have to say, Lerma from Bournemouth, what a shocking stat. Apparently in his last 66 games, he's been booked in half of those. That is a mad stat. I mean, wow. But at the end of the day, Bournemouth's passing was amazing. I have to say that when they got that goal, their passing was absolutely amazing to get that, even though it shouldn't have gone in because Wan-Bissaka should have been on the right side, on the other side of him. David De Gea had some beautiful saves in the game. But yeah, I can't really blame him for him conceding that other one. Scott McTominay looked very strong in the midfield. Of course, it's sad that he's our best midfielder. Fred, of course, started disappearing a bit late in the game. But other than that, he looked so strong in the game. In the beginning of the game, he looked very strong defensively. And that's amazing to see. And of course, Greenwood hits the post with his first touch of the game. That made me so upset because that would have been beautiful. His first Premier League goal. Of course, you can't score them all. But at the end of the day, Manchester United, you have to pick your stuff up. You really do just have to improve. I don't know what you guys have to do. If it's a manager you need, if it's players you need, just Manchester United in general, I don't know. You guys just make weird mistakes. Because it's weird because we're not that surprised that they ended up losing to Bournemouth. Yet it's so sad how far we've fallen. Because let's say if Liverpool, Manchester City lost to Bournemouth, it would be on the news everywhere, which is really sad that we're not at that level anymore, but we can really just hope for better things. But at the end of the day, I saw so many positives in this game that I think we can carry on and build on. But at the end of the day, once again, it was just a silly mistake that caused Bournemouth to score that goal. And if we just make fewer mistakes, then yeah, it sounds simple, but then we're going to end up winning our games. So it's not that we were horrible and they were great. I think they were just great and we made one or two sloppy mistakes, and that's ultimately what led us to a loss. But guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Once again, I have made a Manchester United funny skit video where I just made fun of Manchester United, but just to get us through these dark times, I made a few jokes about Manchester United. If you guys want to see that, I will link that in the description below. But yeah, once again, guys, if everyone can share this with just one person, it would help me out endlessly. I'd love it so much. Guys, I hope you're all having an amazing weekend and the beginning of next week starts off so well for you guys. I love every single one of you. Stay awesome. This is Finn. Cheers.